What if you traveled 1 million years into the future? What will you see? Will the Earth still exist? And what would it look like? How would life be like 1 million years from now? Let's find out. The Earth is constantly changing and evolving. Even over a relatively short period of time, like a decade or so, there are noticeable changes that have occurred. The landscapes we live in today won't be the same 1,000 years from now. But what about 1 million years from now? Here's what we can expect if we traveled back in time 1 million years. 1 million years ago, humans were still using rudimentary stone tools and living in small nomadic groups. The concept of agriculture was still thousands of years away. So what will the world be like 1 million years later? Life on Earth has already shown us that even the most drastic of changes can occur in just a few decades. Just think back to the dinosaurs who dominated the planet for over 165 million years before going extinct due to an asteroid impact. In contrast, humans have only been around for roughly 300,000 years. So what could happen in 1 million years? To predict what could happen on Earth 1 million years into the future, scientists used the theory of evolution is the change in the heritable characteristics of biological populations over successive generations. It's important to note that evolution doesn't necessarily move towards a specific goal. Rather, it's a process of adaptation to the current environment. The environment itself is also constantly changing, which means that the pressures acting on species, and therefore the direction of evolution, will change over time. For example, if the climate becomes warmer, natural selection may favor traits that help organisms cope with higher temperatures. If the food supply becomes more scarce, traits that allow organisms to conserve energy or obtain food more efficiently may become more advantageous. This means that the process of evolution is ongoing and will continue to shape life on Earth in the future. In order to understand what might happen to our planet 1 million years into the future, it's helpful to look at the past as a guide. Over the past 1 million years, we've seen significant changes in the climate and the types of species that have dominated the planet. For instance, during the Ice Age, which lasted from around 11,500 to 12,900 years ago, most of North America was covered in ice. This had a major impact on the types of plants and animals that could survive in this region. Only those species that could adapt to the cold, dry conditions of a glacial climate survived. As a result, we see a unique array of plant and animal fossils from this time period, such as woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats. However, with the warming of the climate, these species went extinct, as they were unable to adapt to the changing environment. This is where the idea of an extinction event comes into play. An extinction event is a significant and sudden decrease in biodiversity on Earth. The largest extinction event in Earth's history was the Permian-Triassic extinction event, which occurred around 252 million years ago. This event, often referred to as the Great Dying, wiped out an estimated 70% of land-dwelling vertebrate species and 90% of marine species. The cause of this mass extinction is still debated, but it's thought to have been caused by a combination of volcanic eruptions and asteroid impacts. These events led to major changes in the Earth's climate and environment, which ultimately resulted in the loss of countless species. If we want to predict what could happen 1 million years from now, we need to consider the possibility of another extinction event. According to some estimates, there is a 10 to 20% chance that a mass extinction will occur within the next 1 million years. However, other experts argue that the rate of species extinction has increased significantly due to human activity, and that we could see an extinction event much sooner than expected. So, what would an extinction event look like? During an extinction event, a large percentage of species on Earth would go extinct within a relatively short period of time. This could be caused by a sudden change in the environment, such as a large asteroid impact or a rapid climate change. As a result, many species would be unable to adapt quickly enough to survive and would go extinct. The fossil record shows us that this type of event can have a devastating impact on biodiversity. For instance, after the asteroid impacts that killed the dinosaurs, it took millions of years for life to recover and diversify again. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Following an extinction event, there's often a burst of After the dinosaurs went extinct, mammals began to diversify rapidly and eventually gave rise to primates, including our early ancestors. So, while an extinction event would undoubtedly be devastating, it could also create opportunities for new species to evolve and thrive. When predicting what the world would look like a million years into the future, it's essential to remember that the future is not set in stone. There are many possibilities, and we can't know for sure what will happen. Some scientists believe that humanity will continue to advance technologically, and that our world will be unrecognizable a million years from now. Others believe that humanity will decline, and that our world will be much different than it is today. Only time will tell what the future holds. No matter what the future brings, one thing is clear. The world is constantly changing and evolving. The landscapes we live in today won't be the same 1,000 years from now. But what about a million years from now? Only time will tell what the future holds. Some believe that humanity will continue to advance technologically, and that our world will be unrecognizable a million years from now. Others believe that humanity will decline, and that our world will be much different than it is today. Only time will tell what the future holds. One thing is certain: the world is constantly changing and evolving. The landscapes we live in today won't be the same 1,000 years from now. But what about a million years from now? Only time will tell what the future holds. Will the Earth still exist? That depends on whether humanity can solve the problem of overpopulation and resource depletion. If not, the Earth could become a barren wasteland. On the other hand, if humanity is able to live sustainably, the Earth could be a thriving planet teeming with life. How would life be like a million years from now? That depends on the technological advancements made by humanity. If technology continues to advance at its current pace, life a million years from now could be unrecognizable. We could have artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, and space travel. Or if technology takes a different path, life a million years from now could be much more simple. What would the Earth look like a million years from now? That depends on the choices we make today. If we continue to pollute and destroy the environment, the Earth could be a polluted and destroyed planet. Or if we take care of the Earth, it could be a beautiful and thriving planet. In conclusion, it's impossible to say for sure what the Earth will look like a million years from now. But one thing is certain: the future is up to us. We can either destroy the planet or preserve it for future generations. The choice is ours. A million years is a very long time, and it is impossible to predict what will happen with certainty. However, by looking at the trends in our world today and considering the potential for technological advancement, we can get an idea of what the world might be like. One thing is for sure: the world a million years from now will be very different from the world we live in today. So what do you think the world will look like a million years from now? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.